Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Destination Truth. I'm your host Tyler, and today I am filming outside because it is beautiful in San Francisco. In October, it feels a lot like summer. So, anyways, today I want to talk about something that I haven't really gotten into so much so far. And I want to start diving into it because this is in fact the reality of the core of why I started this channel. But that being said, I'm dancing around the topic here, but what this video is about is basically about the occult. And why I need to talk about the occult, even though it's considered superstition, stupid, completely fictional, etc., is because it's not. And basically, Trump has actually allowed me the breathing space, the comfort to stop talking about American politics for a minute and stop talking about the corrupt politicians and the evil things they've done and the evil things that America has done, because I do believe that the storm is coming and the draining of the swamp is real. Now, if you don't know what that is, watch my previous video about the storm, or the Trump storm cometh. It's a great video, I think, and you'll learn something about what's going on with QAnon, which is basically an anonymous poster on 4chan and other relatively unused Reddit posting areas, which I've been reporting on some really interesting stuff, guys. Anyways, that's not here nor there in this video. So what I want to talk about now is basically who really rules the world and why it matters. And in reality, who really rules the world is an intersection of politics, modern day politics, literal lineage from actual royalty from the past hundreds and hundreds of years, and the occult, which I wanted to bring up today, because the occult is in reality who we're up against. It is the part that makes the Illuminati the mysterious, evil, unseen hand that you have been told it is. And it is mysterious and unknown because they must be unknown, because they are secret societies, and they're secret for a good reason. And the reason is that they realize that their subjects, which are you and me, don't actually approve of things like child sacrifice to gods, because they have made us, or been trying to make Western civilization atheistic. Now, before I get into too much of this video, I do want to throw this out here. This is going to be a big wrench for some people, but basically, if you're wondering why the West has been pushed towards atheism and now we're supposed to be bringing in Islam, it's because Islam, unlike Christianity, is in fact a satanic religion. Muhammad was led by what we call jinn, or demons, and the entire religion is in fact perpetuating satanic beliefs, rule by force. If you just look at the Bible for a small amount of time, you'll realize that the war in heaven that happened before earth was between Christ and Lucifer, brothers, and their plans for how to bring all of God's children closer to him, and it was through a test. So send them to a place like earth to receive a physical body. This is the plan of salvation. If you've investigated the Mormon church, we call it the plan of salvation. And if you've watched in my previous videos, you should know that I am an agnostic Mormon. I'm not practicing the faith like I should, but I have not abandoned it either, because I believe it is the most orthodox form of Christianity on the earth today. That being said, full disclosure, Joseph Smith definitely had he had been working with the Masons, though he did abandon them, and after leaving them, he made it basically not allowed for members of the church to join secret societies, and for the simple reason of them being basically satanic, and that is in the book of Revelations in the the New Testament. So that is mentioned not just in the Bible, but also in Mormon doctrine, or the Doctrine and Covenants as well. Anyways, I'm getting off topic as I usually do, but what is interesting, guys, is that in the world we live in, we've been taught to believe that history is basically a huge crazy puzzle, and you just got to learn all the puzzle pieces and put it all together, and that's what happened, right? That's our world. And in reality, what's happened is mostly been led by a small number of people that actually rule the world. Now, if you look at medieval times, I mean, they had perfect dominion over humans as almost as if they were livestock. And I say that because if you look at how feudalism worked, it was literally like a king had an oligopoly ruling below him, but it was a monarchy because he ruled supremely. But if he was ever dead, there was basically an oligopoly right beneath him to rule in his stead, it should it be needed. So every monarchy technically was like a president of states, and the states had governors, and the governors were like knights. So knights were given giant plots of land, and they would govern those places for the king. But those knights would collect taxes for themselves and for the king. So the current state of the United States is very similar to feudalism in several ways, except those rulers don't get extreme, insane wealth, and they don't have rights above the average citizen. Now, what does that go back to? That goes back to the signing of the Magna Carta. Now, modern day historians and teachers for elementary through high school and college want you to believe that with the signing of the Magna Carta, basically all monarchies basically just fizzled into thin air, and they were replaced with democracy and happily ever after, and nothing evil or sinister has ever happened since. This is a complete lie. It is an outrageous bastardization of real world history. And the real world you live in is far more complex than you can probably possibly imagine, because it is still ruled by and large by families, ruling class families that have actual lineage from actual kings in the past, as well as witches. That's where the occult comes in, as well as politicians, such as where the Bushes and the Clintons or the Hitlers. These people, they became so prominent in their time that they would be brought into the Illuminati, basically, because the Illuminati wanted to grow and wanted to have people that have particular skills and such. So if you look throughout history, there are tons and tons of rumors and myths, and the scary thing is many of them are in fact based on either some parts of good evidence that have been covered up, or they're just stories. But by and large, there's a large body of evidence out there that suggests that basically many ruling class families throughout Europe in particular, and one in China, the Li family, have accumulated immense amounts of wealth and power to the point where they still rule the world, even more so than they did before, because now they get to do it from the shadows. They get to do it from basically the safety of mansions around the world, and they get to pass legislation, and they get to do all of these things in such an interesting, disorganized way that the average person cannot possibly believe or fathom that these things are all connected, when in reality it is much more organized than people think. If I had to state to you right now who rules the world, I would say the CFR, which is the Council of Foreign Relations. However, the members of the CFR range drastically from members of the Freemasons, the Skull and Bones, ruling class families from actually around the world. Some of the CFR aren't even Americans, which should be unconstitutional, but you have to keep in mind the CFR is just like the Federal Reserve, where it's not actually an American institution in any way, shape, or form. It's just a group of people, basically, and they can come from anywhere. And the same case goes for the UN now, where the UN and members of it basically are ruling class family members. Very few of them are actually the types that, came from nothing and just came into existence. Though that has happened many a time before with people that have basically just joined the Freemasons and risen through the ranks and been given extreme power and wealth. So there are very interesting stories, and most of what I'm speaking of right now comes from the book The 13 Bloodlines of the Illuminati. It's a great read. I haven't gotten very far into it. I'm getting into it now. If you follow my channel, I'm reading a lot of books, guys, and I just want to share this knowledge with you guys. But I want to summarize this video now and basically just close it to the future of my channel will hopefully be able to focus more on the true enemy of the free people of the United States of America and the world, and take it away from being all about, you know, the politics are extremely corrupt, the Hillary Clintons, the Bill Clintons, the Bush family, they're all extremely evil. We need to get them out of power completely. I want to be able to stop talking about these guys, because these guys are basically the politicians that have been brought into the Illuminati, and actually start talking about the Illuminati, because the Illuminati, or those who rule the world, the enlightened ones, etc., they're not actually really connected to these people that they've set up, the politicians, because they can create them overnight, just like President Barack Obama. I'm just letting that sink in, because President Barack Obama, very little is known about him before he was a senator for one term. Before that, he was a community builder, basically. And he has roots with communism. And what you should know about communism is communism was, in fact, designed by the Illuminati. Because what does communism do? It puts all of the power and the wealth and the control into an elite few up here at the top. Okay? Pyramid. Anyways, guys, so I found the CIA, for some reason, is hosting the book, The 13 Families of the Illuminati. If you want to read it, you can easily find it on their website, and I'll put the link down below. But yeah, I'm getting into that now, and I am very optimistic for the first time in the last 5 years about the direction the world is going. I think warriors for truth and light are going to make a huge comeback, basically, and we need to, because we've been losing for a long time to the powers of evil and the powers of Satan or Saturn or whatever you want to call him, Beelzebub, or the name I'm thinking of is Moloch. So, you know, whatever you call him, whatever, he's been winning for a long time, and it's been right in our faces, guys, right in our faces. The symbolism of Saturn and Satan and Moloch are really everywhere, and it's really quite terrifying. So it's time we all wake up and start paying attention, guys. And I'm glad that I can be of any service at all if I can help wake you guys up. In closing, I want to say that I finally, after years, found a single channel, one channel, that is reporting on the truth the way that I would like to do so. And so, excuse me. And so, in closing, I want to say, I want to help these guys. They're the makers of the YouTube channel, The Edge of Wonder. I think the name is a little silly, but what they're reporting on has improved so much recently that I cannot dispute that they're reporting on good evidence. I've read a number of books that have already corroborated much of what they've been reporting on, so I'm very proud of them, and I'd like to help them. If I cannot help them, I'll continue doing my own thing to the best of my ability. But guys, thank you for watching. Please continue to gain knowledge and push for freedom and righteousness, because we live in a very evil world right now, and well, you know, in case it goes a bit longer before the second coming of Jesus Christ, we need to band together as Christians and those who believe in the one God, and battle Satanists around the world, because many religions and secret societies basically all worship him. Anyways, guys, I hope that didn't scare you too much, but we live in strange times. And in closing, God bless.